And this bullshit. This is why I've been bringing you the pieces that I've been bringing you guys, because of this kind of nonsense. We have owners like Dana doing this ridiculous puppet show. Like, it's a literal clown act right now. Why? Why? You had fucking UFC Freedom 250 on the White House lawn. You fucked up. You had... How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Guts.Clout.Carnage. My name is Siphon. It's that time. Get your coffee, get your water, get your OJ, stay hydrated, sit back, and let's get into UFC 329. So, tomorrow night, Conor McGregor fights for the first time in 5 years. That's, the major headline. Here's the question that nobody seems to be asking out loud right now. Is this a fight, or is this a receipt? And I'm asking this because everything McGregor's done since 2021, the layoffs, the injury, the civil case, the missed drug test, it's all of that bullshit is still there. All of the unresolved shit is all still fucking sitting there. All while the UFC hands him a walkout to Max Holloway. Like, none of it happened. You're not just watching a comeback this weekend. You're also watching whether 5 years and a 9-figure paycheck can quietly bury a ledger that was never actually closed. I fucking hate McGregor. I fucking hate Conor. Anyways, let's open it up. McGregor hasn't competed since 2021. That's 5 years. It's now 2026. Broken leg, carried out of the octagon against Dustin Poirier, and that was supposed to be a pause. A pause, maybe at most a year and a half or so, or we'll take what's that boxer's name? Anthony Joshua. It turned into the fucking longest gap of his freaking career, though. But hasn't fought, isn't the same as hasn't been busy. Between 2021 and now, McGregor tested positive in a way that never got a fight night headline. An 18-month suspension under the UFC's anti-doping policy handed down in October, backdated to September of 2024 for missing 3 separate whereabout checks: June 13th, September 19th, and September 20th. 3 strikes in a single testing window. Therefore, the layoff wasn't just recovery, it was recovery plus a doping case. Plus, according to a New York Times report, allegations that he used banned substances with the help of a well-known surgeon while he was rehabbing his leg. He sidestepped the USADA process completely. The UFC's answer to that report wasn't a denial of the facts. It was an attack on USADA's leadership. I actually did an episode on it 5 years ago, and this was when this was just a podcast, just a regular old, and it wasn't Guts.Clout.Carnage. This was back when I was Good Chronic Convos. I did this episode, and I talked about how stupid this dumbass is. Anyways, so when McGregor steps in this weekend, is he stepping in as an athlete finishing a layoff, or as a guy who spent that layoff finding out exactly how much scrutiny he could avoid? On paper, this is a 37-year-old former champion against a 34-year-old former champion. A legends. I can't stand McGregor at all. Oh my god, I can't stand this guy. But apparently, it's a legends rematch. But strip the mythology and look at what McGregor's actual MMA game has been for the last decade. One real dominant stretch. 2015 to 2016. Aldo, Alvarez, both quick finishes. Since then, submitted by Khabib after gassing out in the second round. Knocked out twice, not once, 2 times. The motherfucker got knocked out by Dustin Poirier. The second time, he literally lashed out like a little baby back bitch. Anyways, knocked out twice by Poirier. The second time, after Poirier's corner made one adjustment, low kick the lead leg until it stopped working. Exactly. And McGregor never solved it in real time. That's not bad luck. That's literally a hole in the game opponents have been exploiting for 6 freaking years, and it's never been patched. You know the move. You know exactly what move I'm talking about. Therefore, this isn't a ring rust problem. Ring rust implies the skills are still there under the dust. McGregor's tape shows a guy who was never built for 5-round fights. Ever. Never fixed the leg vulnerability, and is now stepping up a weight class against Max Holloway. Against Max Holloway? Are you stupid or something? Yes, this is the worst style matchup for that profile. Holloway doesn't need one big shot at all. He just needs to compound on volume, angles, and a 5-round gas tank. That's been stress tested against some of the best strikers on the planet right now, including 8 fights against elite or former champions or champion level competitors since McGregor's last outing. He walks people down behind jab, chips, the legs. He keeps pace. McGregor has rarely sustained past round 2 ever in his career. If the tape already tells you how this fight gets won, why is this broadcast still selling it as a coin flip? Who knows? I'll say it plainly right now though. I don't think this is close. Holloway, by volume and cardio, low kicks early to slow the legs, jabs to close the range, and by round 3, this is either a lopsided decision or a finish on the feet, because 25-minute championship pace fight it's never been McGregor's game, and I don't expect it to come now 5 years after he lost like a little bitch to Poirier after losing to Khabib. Anyways, I'm not gonna go further into that nonsense. I'm so mad that he's even freaking fighting to begin with. Why? Who needs McGregor in the freaking UFC at this point? On top of that, not just who needs McGregor, Dana, what the fuck are you doing? Look for new freaking talent. There's talent all over the place. You're focusing on fucking slapbox, on your fucking power slap competition. People actually want to fight in the UFC, and they're out there. What the hell are you doing going back to McGregor? I can't stand this bullshit. This is why I've been bringing you the pieces that I've been bringing you guys, because of this kind of nonsense. We have owners like Dana doing this ridiculous puppet show. Like, it's a literal clown act right now. Why? You had fucking UFC Freedom 250 on the White House lawn. You fucked up. You had Ilia Topuria's face completely fucked up. All because you didn't want to have doctors that were outside of the venue, outside of the event's promotion. You didn't want to have those doctors there. Of course. Why wouldn't he want to fight? Why wouldn't he want to continue to fight? Anyways, if you think I'm wrong, tell me why in the comments. But come with tape, not just with vibes. Because McGregor and Dana together doing this bullshit just solidified my viewpoint on what who they actually are. And this to me completely tells me that the UFC being and having all the corruption and scandals that they've been having with all these betting agencies and betting groups and betting companies, fuck it. UFC is fucking rigged. Fuck the UFC, man. The part here. CBS is airing a full primetime hour Friday night. Weigh-ins, face-offs, Dana White, built entirely around McGregor's return. But in late 2024, a civil court found McGregor liable for the 2018 sexual assault of Nikita Hand in a Dublin hotel room. That's not an allegation anymore. It's a legal finding. There was a second civil suit tied to a 2023 Miami incident. That one was dropped, but the Dublin case wasn't. It went to trial. And guess what? McGregor fucking lost! There's not any more reason to not like the fucking guy. Therefore, the walkout music, the CBS special, the Mac is back headlines, none of that erases the fight. It just schedules around it. The UFC's business model has always separated what happens in the cage from what happens outside of it. Yes, in part with some of the fighters, not all of them. This weekend, that separation is doing a lot of heavy lifting because it's their prized fighter, the white light of the UFC, the Irish Hope. I guess that's what they'll call him. But he's nothing but a piece of shit. When a broadcast spends an hour building comeback theater around a guy with a civil liability finding for sexual assault, SA, who's the story actually serving? The fighter or the paycheck attached to him? You tell me. Therefore, all of it is just noise. It's just noise around the cage. But here's an actual fight card underneath it, and the fight card underneath Holloway McGregor is stacked. Oh yes. Paddy Pimblett against Benoit Saint-Denis. Probably the next most dangerous stylistic clash on the main card. Pimblett needs a bounce back. Saint-Denis needs to prove the pressure translates against the name. Corey Sandhagen and Mario Bautista. This is the technical chess match of the night. Bantamweight elite trading distance and angles. Brandon Royval defends flyweight relevance against Lonair Kavanagh, and Lonair Kavanagh is a prospect getting, I guess, the biggest test of his career in one jump right now. King Green opens the main card against Terrence McKinney, and that fight has finish written all over it in either direction. Both of them could, I mean, you see how they fight. And then there's Robert Whittaker. Oh my gosh, I can't see the names tonight. Robert Whittaker against Nikita Krylov, light heavyweight. A former champion testing a new division, and Gable Steveson making his UFC debut, heavyweight. An Olympic gold medalist stepping into a cage for the first time in front of a McGregor-sized audience. The undercard doesn't need a controversy angle. It just needs you to actually watch it instead of tuning out the second McGregor walks out at the end. Now, just a quick pause before we get into predictions. If you're new here, this is what we do. We don't just recap fight cards. We actually dig into the stuff nobody else is willing to say out loud, whether that's UFC, anime, NBA, tech bullshit, tech companies, politics, whether from Ontario or everywhere else. If that's your speed, hit subscribe and tap the bell so you don't miss on the recap dropping right after these fights. So drop your prediction for McGregor Holloway in the comments. Like I said, I hate McGregor, but if you think he's gonna win, let me know and tell me why. I want to see who's actually buying this comeback and who isn't. Now let's get back into it. Here's where I sit on the whole thing. I don't think the fight itself is close. I laid out why in the tape breakdown and also my bias, and I'm sticking with Holloway heavily. What I do want to flag is what the presentation of this fight is doing on top of that, on top of the whole thing. It's asking you to treat comeback and redemption as the same word. They're not. A comeback is about whether you can still perform. Redemption is about whether you've addressed what you did. McGregor's getting the full comeback treatment. The CBS hour, the walkout, the legacy framing, with none of the second part attached. No accountability segment, no mention of Dublin, just Vegas lights and a countdown clock. You're allowed to watch the fight. Sport and character aren't always the same evaluation, but don't let the production convince you they're the same conversation, because that's exactly what International Fight Week is built to do. Stay ready, be humble, and don't let your ego dictate your next move. My name is Siphon. This is Guts.Clout.Carnage. Take care of yourselves. Peace.